Well, hello everybody, it's Noise Boy here, back with another video. Remember back in the good old days when mobile games were so good? It's pretty obvious since modern mobile games are more just plain out repetitive and boring. They are also pretty unoriginal. I can't even count how many run games there even are on the App Store. All these modern run games always have the same concept. It's always these games where you just run to get to a bigger value, and you always get a multiplier at the end for how good you are. It's always so unoriginal. However, the older mobile games always are so original, have such great gameplay. It's always so good that it turns out to be so popular. But unlike most mobile games, some turn out to be so forgotten, almost nobody recognizes it. So in this video, I will be covering some forgotten mobile games. Let's get on to it. Geometry Dash Spinoffs. So, you know that rage game I'm playing right now? Well, that's a game called Geometry Dash. It's a platform/rhythm game released in 2013. And it's also considered a rage game. From 2015 to 2017, the developer, RobTop Games, released some spin-offs, those being GD Meltdown, GD World, and GD Sub-Zero. Meltdown and Sub-Zero followed the same concept. You were just to complete 3 levels that were made by the developer, kinda like GD Lite. GD Meltdown's gameplay followed designs from version 2.0 of Geometry Dash, which consisted a lot of platformer themed designs, like something straight out of Super Mario. Also, I want to mention that Meltdown barely stick to its theme, being more Inferno themed. The only level that followed it was Viking Arena, which is also my favorite level of GD Meltdown, funny enough. Honestly, I really think Geometry Dash Meltdown was kind of a trash game, so I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. Sub-Zero was kind of the same as Meltdown. It did have 3 levels. It also had 2.0 design, but it had mechanics of Update 2.2, which is still coming to GD. Those being camera zooms and the player going back and forth, stuff like that. Honestly, my favorite level of Sub-Zero was probably Press Start, because it was a really fun level. You might also recognize the song from Dan TDM. Take a listen.
Press start.
Brings back nostalgia, doesn't it? Honestly, I really like Sub-Zero. It's a great gameplay. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. The only reason why I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 is because it's kind of boring after you finish all the levels. The same applies to Meltdown. I mean, you can't do any extra challenges or stuff like that, so it makes the game just kind of boring. Now, GD World is a lot different to Meltdown and Sub-Zero. Instead of having 3 main levels, you were given 2 worlds with 5 short levels. It did have 2.0 designs as well. GD World's levels would usually last around 30 seconds, with shortened songs that were usually made by Dex Arson, and Waterflame as well, sometimes. Usually these levels were pretty easy, maybe normal difficulty. I mean, the difficulty stays the same throughout the entire main part of the game. Now, GD World is very special because you can actually play online levels. But the reason why GD World is still forgotten about is because people usually just stick to the main version of Geometry Dash, which has way more than GD World. But honestly, I think it's a pretty great spin-off, so I'm gonna probably give this a 9 out of 10. Hopefully, RobTop will expand GD World because I'm not sticking with 2 worlds. I heard that they're making like a map level in 2.2, so maybe they are gonna add GD World to the actual version of Geometry Dash. I might be pretty excited, hey. Ski Safari. Do I have to even explain how forgotten this mobile game is? I mean, this came out like 11 years ago, and now it's like been completely forgotten about. So this game was released in 2012 by Sleepy Z Productions. It was this endless runner game where you were being chased down a mountain by an avalanche and you were a skier. You could do backflips, you could ride on penguins and yetis for getting faster. And the game would end when you would get hit by the avalanche and die. And what would slow you down if you would be failed backflips and rocks. This game was actually pretty fun when I first tried it out. It's a really intense gameplay and really just keeps you going. You could customize the gameplay by purchasing backgrounds with coins, and there were different ranks too, so that would get you to want to get to the highest rank possible, so that you can prove to all your friends that I guess you're so cracked at the game. It was a really fun concept, and I sure did enjoy the game, so I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10. I wish there was so more games like this. Honestly, we can't just have those same unoriginal run games we have today. Crash Arena Turbo Stars. Boy, I sure love this game so much, I swear. Simply known as CATS, Crash Arena Turbo Stars is a PvP game released in 2017 by Zeptolab, who you might recognize because they actually are the same people who created Cut the Rope, another very nostalgic video game. Well, mobile game, sorry. The concept of this game is that you build your own armed vehicle and you use the vehicle to fight off against other opponents. There are championships as well as quick fights. You can also join a gang and fight against other gangs. If you wanted to get good at the game, you would have to go to the championships because the further you advance into the championship, the better tools and vehicles and weapons you would get. Also, for every quick fight you would win, you would always get this chest that had better materials and weapons and stuff like that. I absolutely really thought that this game was so amazing. It had an original concept, some good gameplay, and it was just overall fun. But I do wish it was less. I've actually played this level before and almost all of my opponents are so just cracked and so good. So, but that gives me more time to think of what kind of armed vehicle I should build. So I'm gonna proudly give Crash Arena Turbo Stars a 9.5 out of 10. You know what I did after I made this segment? I actually kept the game because I wanted to get better at the game. Because championship, I love Crash Arena Turbo Stars. One of the best, hey? Badlands. Warning, this is a pretty weird game, so just beware. So, Badlands is an adventure game released in 2013 by the indie game studio known as Frogmind. They aren't really known for any other games, but just Badlands. The concept of this game is where you're this flying black ball called a clone, and you're flying through nature, I guess. But there's gotta be some hazards, like these rotatables, these fans, as well as falling objects, you name it. The level would end when you would go through this little tunnely thing I have no idea what it's called though. But of course, it would not be a good game without some fun. These clones can consume these power-ups where they multiply. It seems all fun and helpful at first, but it really turns into a slaughterhouse at any moment. You see, big amounts cause big amounts of death. And a lot of clones will start being killed by saws or being crushed. It's not very nice. Why is this game not rated R? I mean it does have death and violence, but it's probably not rated R all because it has no blood. I bet there's gonna be a lot of angry mums on the review section. Not to mention, Badlands also has quite a few power-ups, contraptions, and hazards too. I mean, you've got power-ups that make you bigger and smaller, bouncier and stickier, and some make you really spinny. There's also a lot of hazards such as explosive mines, lasers, and turrets. Pretty weird and dangerous. There aren't just official levels that have been made by the developers of Badlands. There's also custom levels and online levels you can make and play as well. Like this one called Intrusion. It's got a pretty good gameplay, and I like that little hazard where shoots out really fast bullets that kill you. I mean, I guess you can make your own contraptions and hazards since it has a level editor that's pretty simple to use actually. This game may be weird, but it's pretty fun and there's a huge community out there in Badlands, but nobody really sees it for some reason. The fact that you're really making a flying black ball clone themselves and then the clones die, it's pretty weird. And also a little gruesome at the same time. But I've got to give this game a very simple 10 out of 10. I just love it somehow, okay? I just love it. It's so weird, it's good. Best concept, best gameplay. I mean, perfect for a community like that. They did have a sequel a few years later, but I mean, that's not very great as the first one, I gotta be honest. They also had a little spin-off game called Badlands Brawl. It was a fighting game. I've got no idea if it was more popular than Badlands, it's the original game. First is the best. Well, that wraps up today's video. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can always try out these mobile games by yourself. Comment what you think of them. But anyways, have a great day. I'll see you guys. See you next time.